Okay, so let me remind everybody who was out in the front lines marching when we had the giant marches that went on.
Nope.
It was the people. The people went out. They were not navel gazing. It was older people who were saying, why are you touching my Social Security? It was not people whining. It was about people saying, why are you taking these rights from my child when my child was born here? This has not been about Democrats laying back. This has been about y'all. This has been about y'all.
They said I was too white to be black, too black to be white, too weird to belong anywhere. I'm Barack Obama. And for most of my life, I didn't fit in anywhere. In Indonesia, I was the American kid. In America, I was the black kid with the weird name. I didn't look like my friends, didn't sound like them either. Some kids said I talked too proper. Others said I wasn't black enough. Even in college, I'd get the look, what are you? So
$36.8 million people, or 11.1% of our population, live in poverty. 1.9 million people are incarcerated, the highest number in the world. 800,000 people approximately that are homeless in this country. 40,000 plus people pass away every year from firearm violence. Women don't even have rights. They have their sepsis rates going up. We have a convicted felon in the White House. What do you mean that's not who we are? For 200 years, we treated people that were black less than everybody else. We said they were only worth 3/5 of a person. And the people that made those laws owned black people, like livestock, the founding fathers that you guys worship. They couldn't vote. They couldn't drink from the water fountain. Women didn't have rights. They couldn't vote, couldn't have credit, couldn't have no-fault divorce until, the 80s, I think it was? Black people couldn't vote till the 60s? We put Asians in internment camp? We stole the land from the Native Americans. Some of the land we took from Mexico. Hell, we even sold the land from the Hawaiians. So, honestly, what do you mean that's not who we are? This is who we've always been. This has always been a male white patriarchy. Period. And the media and people that are online still refuse to sit it. They put their heads right up their backside and are shocked and saying, that's not who we are. So I'm going to explain it for people in my demographic, and I'm going to keep it very short and simple. Now that you feel like a percentage, a fraction of an inconvenience, now you've actually felt a small taste, a fraction of a fraction of what it feels like to be a black person. Now you want to say, that's not who we are. Yeah, it is. But your privilege kept you from the darkness for all these years. And now it's showing up at your front door. It's who we've always been. And I'll say it again. It doesn't matter if we have the red team or the blue team in the White House or in Congress or in the Senate. Until we tear down the white patriarchy in this country and admit that America has never been great for everybody, except for my demographic, we will never be great for everybody, and we will never be equal for everybody. So don't tell me that that flag is a sign of freedom. To you, maybe. But to somebody that doesn't look like me, it was a symbol of oppression. Have a good day.
You are a black content creator here on this app, and you start your videos with, "Dear white people, we don't want your advice." Okay? We don't want your advice. When you start a video like that, you immediately are putting all of us on the defense, because Just like you can't help the color of your skin, we can't help the color of our skin. Some of the content creators that I have seen lately on this app, you guys are obsessed with us. You're obsessed. We're not spending our days thinking about you or how we can make offensive videos towards you. Dear Black people, dear Black women, or advice for Black women. I'm not going to give you advice. I don't have any of your lived experiences, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. If I ever came onto this app and I said, dear Black women, I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this, you would immediately be put on the defense so fast. You'd be pissed because you're like, I'm not going to listen to this white woman give me advice on like my hairstyle, how I dress, how I talk, where I live, what I do. I saw a woman on this app yesterday, and the comments they're not disappointing because you have other Black women in there, Black men that are all coming at this lady because she started her video that way. It's like, I don't need your advice. Why are you so obsessed? Why are you so obsessed with us and what we're doing?
Well, the reason that it is because it's always been popular, as far as I know, in my lifetime, for Black people to pick at white people. Because Black people for a long time have considered themselves a victim. And so now they're taking this opportunity to get 3, 4, 5, 600 years of reparations back from white people, which is so dumb. It's so stupid because no person that I know that is alive today has ever experienced any kind of slavery, racism, and all of that stuff. And so now what's happening right now is it's called culture gatekeeping. And what culture gatekeeping is trying to control the narrative of how other people receive you based off of what you think is your culture. So, for example, there's a lot of Black women that are wrong as far as understanding where cornrows came from. But right now, it is super popular for Black people to have braids and cornrows. So if they see a white person have it, then they're going to start off their video and say, dear white people. And then they're going to go into how it is that you're culturally inappropriate for appropriating their cornrows, right?
I don't want to see one more white creator clutch their pearls or tell me how they're horrified or how they want to leave the country and how you're having a mental breakdown and how it's too much to handle about what's happening in this country. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about it. I truly don't. You got a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of an inch what it's like to be Black in this country. Feels pretty shitty, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Do you know why we're here? It's because our demographic, primarily white men who this land was designed to benefit, didn't stand up with people of color, with our Black brothers and sisters, with the Native Americans, with minorities, because it didn't affect them. That's why we're here. There is the class war, eat the rich, yes. This is about the original sin of this country. Make America white again, because that's what they want. Last night I was on a live, and this lady was just heartbroken. She's like, I don't know, like we had, 75 years of progress, and it's all being taken away. And I asked a question, and I think it's the right question. Was it progress, or was it just suppressed? I would argue the latter. Because it sure feels like this racism is like a reservoir. And it's a body of water behind a dam. And it's been dying to push out. And that's what this Klan leader is in the White House. He is that outlet for the dam. He unleashed it. It was there. Our neighbors, our friends, our family, they were always racist. He just said, hey, little Billy, hey, it's okay. Don't hide anymore. Take off your white hoods. Don't hide your face. Do it in public. Who are they going after? They're racially profiling people. DEI, CRT, equality, Charlie Kirk, the white supremacist. Hey, if the pilot's Black, do I know that they're qualified? Has he ever said that about a white pilot? Of course not. Who did they pick? The most unqualified, bumbling idiot. A convicted felon, caused an insurrection, cheats on his wives, sexual abuse. But hey, you know what? He's white. So when you see a lot of these evangelicals, because I see a lot of them in my family. Middle-aged white, praise Jesus, praise Jesus. Yeah, you think Jesus wants a man like this? You think he's a great reflection? No. I'm going to tell you why they support him. Because they view, when you hear the phrase nuclear family or traditional family values or Christian nation, when was this a Christian nation again? I'm sorry, because I haven't heard one thing. It was founded by founding fathers that owned slaves. They owned goddamn black people like cattle. Yeah, praise Jesus, right? Black people were worth 3/5 of a person. Praise Jesus. Only 21-year-old white men had rights in this country. Praise Jesus. Such a Christian nation. Every atrocity in this country and across the world has been done by a person with religion who has weaponized religion to push the white supremacy. That's it. Look at the Catholic Church. How many young men have been affected? And none of you Catholics stood up. You still go to church and give your tithes while they pay out billions of dollars in civil lawsuits because it didn't affect you, so you don't give a damn. Look at the Baptist Church. Decades they covered up the mistreatment of women. It's gross. And you still went to church and praise Jesus. Look at all the pastors right now that are being arrested for doing inappropriate things with people underage. Praise Jesus, right? But then you hear Bishop Boudet. Kindness, compassion, empathy. Nope, we don't want that. That's right, because you want to make America white again. You want Leave It to Beaver. You want a white kid in a white ice cream shop sitting next to a white cop being served by a white ice cream server. That's what you want. And for all of you middle-aged white people, you are scared to hell that that's going away. And when you hear Fox News, they have posted 244 pieces about trans people since February. Nothing about gun violence. Nothing about universal health care. Nothing about giving people a living wage. Actual policies that would make people's lives better. Because it questions their version of the traditional family. And when you hear that, let me be very clear what traditional family values means. It means white America. That's what it means. They want to put the 10 Commandments in Texas. They want to put Bibles in Tennessee. I'm a person of faith, and I have no right, zero, to push my religion or my faith on you. That's what free will is. See, and those white Christian nationalists, those white supremacists, they don't want free will. They want to push their religious ideology on you because they actually believe this is a Christian nation, because they don't want to take 2 seconds to realize that we are a third world country, that we've never been a great nation for everybody. And that's done through indoctrination, right? You're born in American flag diapers and you wake up every morning and you eat your freedom Wheaties and you do the Pledge of Allegiance. Best country in the whole universe ever by not even a close measure. Then you feed your pet bald eagle and you go to work and you polish the Constitution and you have 800 trillion American flags. America, America, yeehaw, America first. But see, you don't give a damn about the people that the flag represents. You just care that your version of what America was lied to you, that you were the Truman Show, because that's what this is. You were told it was great and it's not. Right now, the way that we're acting, we're a shithole country. And a lot of people that are white don't want to hear that. Why don't you go ask black people if they think it was great? Why don't you go ask some Native Americans if it was great for them? Because this was their land. Why don't you go ask the Hawaiians when it was great for them? Because we stole their land. We took the land from Mexico. Hell, we took black people from Africa because us white people were too goddamn lazy to do the jobs ourselves. And for all of you people demonizing immigrants, I don't see your lazy asses out in the field doing the jobs. Why is that? Because you just didn't want non-white people here. But Paul, I want them here legally. Great, let's talk about that. These people have been here for 30, 40 years. The system is screwed up, yes. But you know what? They're not criminals. They pay their bills. They pay their taxes. They have a house. They own businesses. But you voted for a white man who's a convicted felon, who caused an insurrection, who makes fun of disabled people, who's so pitiful that he cheats on his wives, all 3 of them, 25 women. He's assaulted. The guy wears orange makeup and diapers. If that's your guy, because he represents one thing, make America white again. And for a lot of you men, it's the toxic masculinity, right? You just can't admit that you've been lied to your whole life, that America has never been great for everybody. Sure, take out the bad parts. Take out Jim Crow and slavery and the unaliving of Native Americans and segregation and Black Wall Street. Sure, just take out the bad parts and just take the fraction where it's benefited white people. If we don't address this, and if people like me don't speak up like this, whether we like it or not, this is our mess. We created this. Think of it this way, and I'll leave you with this thought. I build a house, okay? This house is brand new. A black family moves into it, okay? Great, it's wonderful. It starts to get cracks in the walls and the ceilings, and it sags. They come in, they look at it, and they find out that the foundation is broken, okay? That it wasn't poured correctly. It wasn't meant to hold the weight of that house. It was designed poorly. Is it up to the homeowner to fix that house? No, it's up to the person that built the house. Us, white men, the only demographic that has never been oppressed, the demographic that it was designed to support. Whether I like it or not, I have privilege. I don't want it, but I have it. So we have two options, people. We can hide behind it and clutch our pearls and bitch and whine and say, oh my gosh, it's so bad. Or we can use it to stand up and do the right thing and to tear down the patriarchy. Because white supremacy, right now, the one good thing that came out of Harris losing was that now we're forced to address the ugliness and the darkness in this country, which is white supremacy. Which path are you going to choose? How is history going to remember you?
I already know I'm going to get hate for this, but you know what? I don't care. Why is it that Caitlyn Clark literally yells at the refs every single game and never gets called for a technical? I watch just about every NBA game there is. Sometimes I can't watch both because there's multiple games on at once, but I usually go back and watch the replay. But tonight, she not only yelled at the ref, but she had to physically be held back by members of the staff of the Fever team. Yet, the little golden child wasn't called for a technical. Then you have Paige, who simply was clapping, excited about she got a foul call on a basket that she made, and she clapped her hands and said, and one. She got a technical. Make it make sense. Why does she have a different set of rules? I get it. People think the WNBA wouldn't exist without her, which obviously isn't true. She hasn't been playing. And guess what? The WNBA went on. There's other talented players. Other players have fans. You have so much talent coming in the next couple years. You look at the talent that came in this year. Look how many rookies are in the All-Stars next week. So don't tell me that the WNBA wouldn't exist without Caitlyn Clark. But why does she have a different set of rules than anybody else? Somebody tell me.
Let's read this together. Lee, stop whining now. They're gonna hammer on you. We're saying she brought that up. That's just tell. Okay, first of all, who's Lee? Second of all, I think I just had a stroke trying to read that. I hear lately I have been blocking, which I haven't had to block a whole lot of people because they've been super nice. But the ones that do leave negative comments, I just block. I don't really give you attention because I don't, anyways, so I have to get defensive. I have learned when I update about my son, not to the people that love and support us, but to the people that have something nasty to say that have no idea. Just to let them know, people like you, that I'm not going to put up with it. Like, I will just block. I won't even make a video using a comment. But you have no picture, and I still don't know who Lee is. So you can go out of the comment and tell me who Lee is. Who's Lee? Anyway, so I'm going to leave this comment up, though, because it is bringing money to my account. And guess what?
somebody just lost their two-year-old child, and in my community, and I'm going to use that to donate money to them, to take a burden off of them, whether it be a bill, food, something, I don't know, but I'm going to leave it up. Most time I balk, but I'm going to leave yours up, and thank you for donating to the family that really needs money. I hope that you have a blessed day.
For any of you white men out here complaining about diversity hires, let me ask you this. Have you or your ancestors ever had to worry about being owned by black folks? Did you ever have anything that belonged to you otherwise taken from you, such as, I don't know, your land? Did anyone ever snatch your kids out of their mother's arms to be taken away and stripped of their language or culture while being abused by priests or nuns and skin color? Have you ever been restricted from voting or owning property or opening your own bank account? Have you ever been humiliated, mocked, or laughed at because you were straight? Like, did anyone ever try to pray the straight out of you? Then cry me a river. You sit there on your throne of privilege and you don't even realize that what you're really butthurt about is that other people just want to be treated fairly and equitably and have just a fraction of what you've taken for granted your entire life. So listen up, Chad. If a black woman got the job ahead of you, it's because she was equally, if not more, and it was probably more qualified than you. It's not because she's black or a woman. It's because you assumed your white skin and male gender would get you a job you weren't qualified for just because you have that white skin and are male. Maybe you should have hit the books harder instead of banking on your privilege. Because women, people of color, indigenous people, and LGBTQ plus folks certainly didn't have the privilege of taking that for granted. They put in the work. They had, in fact, to work even harder than you, had more barriers to overcome, and still managed to eat your lunch. Congrats. Maybe you could learn a thing or two from them instead of whining like a baby about it over your third Ryan.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.